It's a startling statistic. Nearly half of all marriages end in divorce. This figure is not just a number. It represents countless stories of heartbreak and disillusionment. This number doesn't even account for the countless relationships that end before reaching the altar. Many couples part ways long before they ever say, "I do." We live in a world where finding love is celebrated, yet sustaining it seems increasingly difficult. The joy of new love often fades, replaced by the challenges of maintaining a relationship. Why do so many relationships falter? What causes the initial spark to dim and eventually extinguish? Why do we find ourselves repeatedly drawn to partners who are wrong for us? Is it a matter of poor judgment, or is there something deeper at play? The answers are complex, often rooted in our deepest desires and unconscious patterns. These patterns can be difficult to recognize and even harder to break. It's tempting to dismiss these failed relationships as simply bad luck or poor timing. However, there's often more to the story. However, a closer look reveals that our choices in love are rarely random. They are influenced by a myriad of factors, both conscious and unconscious. We are drawn to certain types of people, often those who mirror our past experiences or reflect our deepest insecurities. These patterns can be traced back to our earliest relationships. This isn't about blaming ourselves for past heartbreaks, but rather understanding the forces at play in our romantic lives. By gaining insight, we can start to change our patterns. By exploring these patterns, we can begin to make more conscious, fulfilling choices in love. Understanding ourselves better is the first step towards healthier, happier relationships. The term loser is harsh, and it's important to remember that everyone has their own struggles and complexities. However, for the sake of this discussion, let's define a loser in the context of relationships as someone who is emotionally unavailable, unwilling to commit, or consistently exhibits hurtful behavior. These individuals often leave us feeling unfulfilled and questioning our self-worth. We've all encountered them: the perpetual bachelor, the commitment phobe, the emotionally distant partner. So, why are we drawn to them? What is it about these elusive partners that captivates us? Often, our attraction to these individuals stems from our own unresolved issues. We may be subconsciously seeking to recreate familiar patterns from our past, such as a parent who was emotionally distant or critical. These early experiences shape our expectations and desires in relationships. Alternatively, we may be drawn to the challenge of fixing someone, believing that our love can heal their wounds. This belief can be deeply ingrained and hard to shake. This desire to save or change a partner is often a sign of our own insecurities and need for validation. Understanding these patterns can help us make healthier choices in our relationships. One of the biggest challenges in breaking free from unhealthy relationship patterns is recognizing them in the first place. Often, these patterns are so ingrained that they become almost invisible to us. We can be blinded by love, ignoring red flags and making excuses for our partner's behavior. This blindness can lead us to overlook serious issues that need addressing. This denial stems from our deep-seated fear of being alone, our desire to be loved, and our belief that we can change the other person. We convince ourselves that things will get better, even when all evidence points to the contrary. It's important to pay attention to those gut feelings that tell us something isn't right. Our intuition often picks up on things that our conscious mind tries to ignore. Do you constantly find yourself making excuses for your partner's behavior to your friends and family? Do you feel the need to justify their actions even when you know deep down that something is off? Do you feel drained and emotionally exhausted after spending time with them? This emotional toll can be a clear indicator that the relationship is taking more from you than it gives. Are you constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do the wrong thing? This constant state of anxiety is not healthy and can erode your sense of self over time. These are all signs that you may be in an unhealthy relationship dynamic. Recognizing these signs is crucial for your emotional well-being. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards breaking free. Once you see them, you can start to take action to protect yourself and seek healthier relationships.